Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Is there
Anyone
anybody there? Hello? Hello, everyone.
there? Hello?
Oh, my
It's going to be
goodness.
one of them days, isn't it?
Well, yes. Ritchie and I were just talking about ritual and ritual before we start a live. And one of the things that we do is we get silly. So
Very silly.
I
And
was just like
done.
going, we should totally like look at the what? This is where and Robin Toadstool Tarot sent me something on Facebook where you can get monocles. And he's like going, this is so you. And I'm looking, it is me.
It is.
It's like, ooh.
I'm surprised you didn't get your fan out, actually, because you could have just been.
What fan? What fan?
Yay, it's out early. You saw it here.
There you go. Boom. Anyhow.
Total
All right.
pro.
I just dropped something. I dropped a pencil.
Oh,
Okay.
you've probably got 29 others.
Yeah. Well, let's say hello to people. Gypsy Heart Tarot was here. Hello first.
Hi. Hi, Govinda.
And what I have just done is when we were on, I have put the bell on to let me know when Gypsy Heart Tarot has a new video. So
Excellent.
Antoinette, she can't be here, but it's the psychic development class that she's taking. Ooh, do tell. I wonder if Tony would come on my channel and talk about that. So, and then we have Scott, Scorpio Moon Tarot. Hello, Scott. And
Scott.
I just saw that you are going to be on Strength Reversed with Amy for an interview, I believe, on Wednesday, I think. I loved my interview with Amy. She is so delightful. Oh, look, Miss Sandra is here. Hello, Sandra.
Hi, Sandra.
Orshi is here. Hello, Orshi. And oh, Nancy is here from Across Intuition. And Ange is here from Tiny Trinkets and Tarot. Oh, look, Kristen Louise Tarot is here. Hello, Kristen.
Hello. I don't know why I did that then. That was a bit weird, wasn't it?
Well, you're welcome to be weird. Sorry.
Weirdo.
Kristen Louise missed Tony when she was here, so just saying that out loud so Tony hears. So yes, congratulations, Scott, on your over 100 followers. So okay, where everything just jumped. Hang on.
Kristen likes my backdrop. Saw that.
Yes.
I've been ironing it all day.
Yeah, okay. So oh look, Chris is here.
Hi, Chris.
Chris, are we doing a live next Monday about Santa Muerte? I need a thumbnail, but oh, look at Ange. So that's sweet. And again, I'm here with Ritchie from Longman Tarot, and so if you haven't subscribed to his channel, I don't know how you found me. So. Justin Michael is here. Hello,
hi,
Justin.
JM. What's upset him already?
Oh, I think he's doing. It may be this.
Oh, that.
Or it may be Chris.
Oh, so. It might be Chris.
Gypsy Heart Tarot. There you go. I mean, you know. Kim Moon Whisperer is here. Hello. Howdy, Justin. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah. It's the total close up. So.
Okay, we won't do it again.
And Kim has got it down. She's got it down with the emoticons.
Yeah. Like that.
Yeah. So, and Nancy's right. Ritual is an important part of many of our practices. And we're going to talk about ritual, what it looks like, how it develops over time. It's really a it's a ritual. This has got so many different meanings. So
Decided I'm going to do that in slow motion. There, did you notice the way I
yes,
did
I
that?
did.
Yeah.
Do that again, and I'll make you all embiggen you. Do
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Isn't this the beauty?
Have you ever seen? It's called Zootropolis, but it might be called something else in the States. And the sloths that work in there in the office, and they all talk and move like that, really, really slowly.
Oh, Zootopia.
Zootopia, yeah, Zootopia,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like that.
Which is funny. So Justin wants to see Robin with a monocle and his pointy hat. Yes. So
Yeah.
and apparently Chris has upset Scott's delicate sensitivity.
Ooh.
So it won't be the last time.
No.
So look, Patrice is here. Hello, Patrice.
Hi, Patrice.
Hugs to Vernetta. Oh, and Scott said that his live with Amy at Strength Reversed is tomorrow. I've lost times, and my chat just jumped. Oh, good Lord.
Ishi's here.
Ishi's here.
Mm-hmm.
Zane is here.
Oh, hi, Zane.
Oh, yes. And yes, we are actually doing Chris from Elemental Cartomancy next week. He and I are talking about one of our favorite decks, which is the Santa Muerte. So
I love how you froze just then. You like
that? Anyhow, okay. So let's get through everybody and
Regina's here. Did we say hello to Regina?
I haven't seen Regina yet. I'm slow. Is she's here? Hello. And Kristen Louise was very convinced.
Thank you. Years of practice.
Years of practice. Wow. Regina is here. Hello, Regina. Okay, so, and Ishi is listening while finishing last hour of work, and perhaps we can get her to ignore the last hour of work and actually type things in chat.
Shrug it off.
Yeah, it is what it is. So, anyhow, so Richard, how did this get started? Do you remember?
I think we started to talk about when we get new decks, what do we do with them? Is that how it started?
I think so, because I think we may have chatted about that a little bit on your channel about breaking the deck.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So.
And we said we must do something about this. So it's going to be some kind of spontaneous conversation that's going to happen today.
Yeah. Nancy is also multitasking but listening. So.
Yeah.
And Ishi said if there were no call-offs, no call records coming through, I could bog it off. So, okay. So, Kristen Louise has set the bar very high for us. She wants effectual ritual that's instinctual and audiovisual.
Wow.
Okay. I
quite understand all those words, but I'll give it a shot.
Hang on. Effective.
Instinctual.
That's instinctual and audiovisual. Okay. So, well,
Giving us like that quite a lot for a Monday. Absolutely.
No, actually, I think it's just okay. Justin needs to say hi to Chris because Chris is feeling ignored, even though.
Oh, go then, boys.
So thank you, Patrice. I wonder if I could get Patrice to come on and do a live with me and I'll show you mine. Would you all watch that if Patrice were to come on? Would you? Would you?
Defo.
You know,
Yeah,
so.
defo.
Is she still crafting from last night? We were doing some things with crafting. So, okay. So, Richard,
Yeah.
before I put up the definition of ritual, could
Mm-hmm.
you give us your definition of ritual?
Well, I've been thinking long and hard about this for the last couple of days because I wanted to kind of think about what it is. Now, we'll probably have rituals. We all have probably picked these up from whether it's reading books or word of mouth or perhaps some form of superstition. But actually, do you know what a ritual is to me? It's a set of things, that punctuate the time for you to do a tarot or for me to do a tarot reading. So what it is, it's there to jolt me out of the everyday or what I've been thinking about being in the past, or to get me into the moment, to get me into that mindful moment when I can actually do it. And it might be a meditation, it might be a visualization, it might be a lighting a candle, it might be having a shower, it might be having a cup of coffee. But it's that moment where I stop being Mr. Osborne, the maths teacher, and, you know, Long Man Tarot comes in, if you want to think of it in terms of that. Okay. So, and I just have little set things, little routines that mean that I get into that headspace. That's what it is to me.
Okay. And I think of ritual in a similar way. And part of what I've done is, since I have really focused on my magical practice, finding where I have ritual in my everyday life and how I can elevate it to a more spiritual ritual. Because, you know, maybe this is TMI, but I get up in the morning, I go to the bathroom, I get some water to drink, and I drink 5 quarts of water a day. So
that's good.
Within the first hour that I'm up, I'm drinking 2 quarts of water, and then I will brush my teeth. So all of that is a ritual, and I don't feel quite put together if that doesn't happen in a regular fashion. And from a tarot reading perspective, it's a habit. It's how I shuffle the cards is my ritual, because it gets me into that space of, you know, Gerald, into I am a reader, I'm an oracle for somebody, and trying to connect with the cards.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So okay. So it looks like, yes, people would watch something with Patrice. There you go. There you go. Zane even added the F-bomb. There you go. Scott is like, yes, do it. And Ange is really going. So Ishi would watch it.
Definitely.
You know, but ooh, give me a minute and think about it. I absolutely love to hang out with Gerald. I have to work on my camera shyness. Well, you know what? We can work on that camera shyness. And one of the great ways of doing that is, who is this Mr. Osborne? I hope you were not referring to the Lord Professor Dick Alcott in such muggle terms. So
it's like that. This is Mr. Osborne.
Yeah. This is Gerald, the supervisor. So, no, but seriously, Patrice, let's chat about that. Because we can practice. We can practice. Yeah. Justin drinks 5 quarts of coffee a day. Oh, Ange is pressuring everybody. It's like, so. Oh, and Justin is just reading about this in Mary's book, Mary Kate Greer.
Mary Greer, yeah.
So, oh, Nancy is here from Paper Moon Tarot. Hello.
Hi. Oh, what happened there? Hi.
Hi. Did you just enter puberty, Richard?
It did. Yeah, it was a bit like.
Yeah. So here you go. Here's the impossible thing. Patrice would come on even more if Neem would do it. I don't, is Neem here yet? I don't see Neem. So.
Why don't you go for the trio and get Jackie on there as well?
Jackie, Neem, and Patrice. I would be this huge thorn surrounded by all of these glorious flowers. I mean, that would be totally cool. I mean, so anyhow. Okay, so because I used to work in a library, I actually looked up a definition from Merriam-Webster about ritual. And ritual is the established form of a ceremony, specifically the order of words prescribed for a religious ceremony.
Okay.
And then part 2 of that is ritual observance, specifically a system of rites, a ceremonial act or action, an act or series of acts regularly repeated in a set, precise manner. I really go with this one a lot when it comes to the ritual and tarot reading and things like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean, you could combine the two. The other one was talking about words and almost like a sort of church ritual there with that one, you know, and there will be people that, or when I'm doing a reading, I will say a mantra or my intention or whatever it is. And it's always in the same style, in the same form, more or less, when I set my intentions for it. So, yeah, it's got a lot of elements from both of those.
Yeah. What do people in the chat think about what do people in the chat think about ritual? How do you define ritual? Oh, spoiler alert. Patrice's wife Renetta will be joining Jen on Jen's Fabulous Tarot in August.
Wow.
Okay.
That's exciting.
Yeah. Ishi said ritual can be a set of behaviors that bring comfort, no religionness. Well, you know, and I agree with you. It's this idea of a bedtime ritual. It's how people start to shut down from the day and get ready to go to sleep. Justin Michael said, I usually take a few breaths. I always shuffle and cut into 3 piles.
Yeah.
Very much a ritual, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's amazing how we've all got our own, which have probably grown as well over the years. Yeah, I remember reading when I first into tarot, oh, you had to, you know, cut with your left hand and things like that, which I still do, you know, and that's always built into however I might divide or cut the deck up. It's always left-handed for me.
Yeah. Okay. That's okay. So, Nancy said, ritual is productive habit. Yes. Yes. There it is. Patrice is going to do something with me.
Hey.
Sandra said, ritual for me is witchcraft ritual, literally. Also have a ritual with reading tarot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's very important because you had sort of mentioned, Ritchie, that ritual grows over time, right? It changes.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay. Kim said, I have daily rituals I never really think about, and then planned out rituals with coven work. Yeah. 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 Ritual is a series of meaningful, repeated moments, Kristen Louise said. Scott says, I have always pulled from my left hand as well, Ritchie. The non-dominant hand is supposed to be more receptive.
Yeah.
And Justin says, I think the left hand thing comes from weight. Could be. Nancy also added, ritual help be or become who we are supposed to be.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
I like that. Yeah.
Ritual from Ange. Ritual is mindful and intentional way I go about doing all the things on my own personal and unique way. Yes. And Ange, you're studying to be a nurse. I knew somebody who, what she used to do when she would draw blood, she would actually, she would have a ritual about how she would do it. She would swab twice with an alcohol prep and then do it. So it's very interesting. So,
Yeah.
but
Because that's part of it. I'm probably jumping a little bit ahead of where we're going with this. But the thought about when you've got a ritual that works for you, that is all part of the process, what actually happens when some part of that ritual doesn't go right, or you forget it? Not that you're likely to forget a ritual, but something gets missed out. How does that affect like a reading? And I wonder what people would say about that one.
That's interesting. Nancy put in here, there's something I have a problem with. I like change. And if
Mm.
ritual is set in stone, it's not for me. But does that defeat the purpose? You know, I think there's lots of different ways to do magic. I think ritual and repetition is very important. I also feel spontaneity is extremely important.
Yeah.
And Nancy, I would, if that works for you, you do something a certain way for a while and then you change it up. That keeps it alive for you. And I actually think that I feel that like charges it up. It
Yeah.
just it makes it more meaningful for you. Um,
And the fact that it's changing for a purpose into something else is beautiful. It's an organic thing, isn't it?
yes, yes. And Kristen Louise says ADHD makes ritual both challenging and essential for me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ask me how I know.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So Sandra says she's also performed ritual with for others with their consent, of course. Yes, consent is always extremely important in my mind. Justin said, I think ritual is important because it gives you a sense that you are ready, puts you in the right frame of mind, also allows you to think about things and get centered. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, Ange said, yes, ritual in nursing is important. Cleanse energy and hold space, which is also a ritual.
Yeah.
And I have said this before, bless you and all of the, caregivers who are paying attention to energy and consistently moving that out, because I think that's an important aspect of healing and just general well-being.
Yeah.
So, lots of agreement for what Justin said.
Yeah.
So, or she said, I'm the same. Can't stick with one thing too long. So change is my ritual. Oh, I like that. Change is
Yeah.
my,
I like that too. Change is my
yeah.
ritual.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Gypsy Heart Tarot. For me, it's all about intention. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. My ritual progress as I grow and feel lead to incorporate something new. Yes. It takes you from a different realm to a different realm from the mundane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
exactly how I feel about it. It's my time to
Yeah.
refocus.
Yeah. Ange is a hero. Here's all sorts of love for Ange and all the caregivers out there. So the only thing constant is change. Yeah. Um,
Wow.
yeah. I mean, this is good, and I think, yeah, it is a perfect description, Kim. I mean, and I think one of the things, um, as we grow and develop, ritual changes. It should change because we are different than who we were when we started that ritual.
Yeah.
So, um,
Yeah.
and I will share. I have a ritual that every time I take a shower, I have a cleansing ritual that I do for myself,
Oh.
and it does not. It takes all of. I went before I start, I do something, and then when I end, I do something, just to get myself ready for the day. And it is done with intention. And I can tell when I haven't done it.
Right.
It's just strange. So Jen is here. Hello, Jen.
Hi, Jen.
There's Jen. So lovely to have you here. So it can be difficult to overcome. Lucky I'm when I notice a ritual once to stick, I'm able to let it go, but it wasn't always that easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a beautiful thing. Do you have any rituals that that aren't related to tarot? And then we'll talk about tarot. Is she routine now? Here's the thing. Let me jump on this. I'm going to jump on this. I'm going to jump on this. My advice for anyone who is wanting to create a ritual or to start something is to start small. Don't overcomplicate it, and do it with intention. And you know, it's just, I think that's really, really very important. Nancy said, people who get stuck with ritual as the doctrine rather than a routine celebrating the doctrine. Ooh.
I think that's a very good point, and I think it's quite good to review why you do things in a ritual, whether it's setting up or whatever, because you know, anything that's come from a particular, it's been passed down through the years by various, whether it's tarot or whatever about a ritual. It's fundamentally, it has a purpose, doesn't it? And it might be to make sure people were safe, or if it's something to do with food, that the food wasn't going to, you know, poison you or kill you. You know, all of those kind of traditions that come down, and it's very. We start to get ourselves a little bit wrapped up in all of that one. So it's really good to stop and go, why am I doing this? And if you can answer that question and you're happy with why you're doing it, then by all means, you know, let's continue doing it. But if there's something in there that's kind of doesn't feel right, then, you know, having that ability to go, I can change this, I can mix things up a little bit is it's very refreshing.
Yeah, and I keep going back to what Nancy is saying. There is, it's there comes a point when you need to know what the ritual is, and you do it, and then you understand the deeper layers of why that ritual is important to the doctrine. And that's a very conscious choice that we make, and it's helpful. So Jen left off Nancy in her greeting, so you know anyhow, and Ange said, why am I doing this? Yes, Ritchie, intention is everything. It really is. So but yeah, so you were going to share a ritual or something.
Oh yeah, well, we're talking about any rituals I do. I'm a person that was always and still am very hung up on things like superstitions. So anything to do with me, I keep them. Things like cross knives really upset me. One of the reasons I've got a black cat is because of the superstitions around that one. So I've got that. I've got my lists that I'm always compiling. Plus there's my, you know, the OCD things that mean that I have to do certain things in certain orders and on certain days. So it's really difficult to work out sometimes what's ritual and what is just you getting through your day in a general, you know, survival kind of technique. So I'm trying to think. I don't think there are probably rituals that I do, but I probably either overthink them or don't realize I'm doing them on a day-to-day basis. For example, I only realized about 6 or 7 weeks ago that it's things like when I get dressed, I put my left sock on first before my right sock, but when I put my shoes on, I put my right shoe on before my left shoe. Which is just, you could probably analyze that. I mean, I'm not saying that's a ritual, but I've just noticed that's a pattern. And, you know, rituals in a many way are patterns, and they are successful patterns. And they're the patterns, as we've kind of suggested, that get you into that mindful framework to do the work in. So I can't, to be honest with you, I can't think of any proper rituals like that. No, mine's all tarot or other part metaphysical kind of stuff, I'd imagine.
Sandra shared that her mom hates cross knives too.
Don't get me going on cross knives.
Cross knives is
no. I don't know what the behind it is, but you should not cross knives on a plate.
Okay, on a plate.
So if you're putting like you're collecting up your plates and your cutlery and stuff, you should never have knives cross, particularly in a drawer. If you've got your cutlery in a drawer, you have to lay your knives so that they don't cross over at diagonals.
Okay. I'm writing this down because I'm curious. So
don't get me going, because I mean it's a miracle sometimes I ever get to work with cracks in pavements, crossing the road, you know, waving and saluting magpies and all the rest of it. It's a miracle I ever get to work on time.
So next time on Longman Tarot, we'll be talking about superstitions, or you know, Ritchie will come back here and we'll talk about superstitions. So, so what is ritual and what are just our ticks? Yeah,
yeah.
So, oh, and Jen has apologized, but you know, Jen, what time is it there? It's like really.
It's Tuesday. It's definitely Tuesday. I can tell you that.
Well, okay, here's how much I value Jen. It's 4:31 a.m. there. I actually added her to my world clock. So Jen, did you hear that? I want to know, and it's tomorrow there. So you know.
I like that. Have you set it as Jen's time?
Well, I can't change that, but in my mind that is exactly what it is. So okay, so, and Scott asked, he said, here's a weird one. Does anyone blow in their bags where they just put their cards to get your energy surrounding them? Not that I would ever do
No, I've never done that. No.
I have not done that, but I have, after my last reading, I do shuffle the deck with the intention of clearing it before I put it back in the bag. And part of also my ritual is I usually have, in most of my bags, I have a pendulum, and I also put in a bay leaf for protection if it's in a box.
I keep forgetting to put bay leaves in. I know you keep banging on about bay leaves, and I keep meaning to do that. I'm carrying them around in a jar, but I forget to put them in places.
Yeah. So, and yes, most of us, or all of us, adore Nancy. So the foot that does not have the sock or a shoe is always the one that is left. Good one, is she? And she's finishing up her work. Oh yeah.
There you go. We started something new now, haven't we?
Super slow-mo.
Yeah.
Anne said, blowing bags, Scott. I mean, I sniff decks and books and all. So
I blow the rubber gloves to get the fingers out, you know, like when you've got washing up gloves. It's the only time I'm going to stop at that point because Chris is in the chat and it'll just get rude if not.
It'll just get rude.
Yeah.
No, and Chris is the only one who ever gets rude in chat. I never get rude at all because I'm not, you know, anyhow. Zane asked a question. Do you dislike the Two of Swords?
I'm interested as to why you've asked that question, but
because the cross nine.
Oh, I see.
See, short-term memory. You know, short-term
memory,
that one.
It's a sword. It's not a knife. I can cope with. In fact, I could quite happily put swords crossed, like on a wall. You know, like sometimes. No, but knives, very, very bad luck. Don't go when we finish this chat. Go and sort your cutlery drawers out, everyone, and get those knives lined up properly. And while we're on the topic of knives, I'm going to say this as well. You know, it's very unlucky to gift people knives without giving money. You need to put a coin or something in the box with it. Have you heard that one before?
I haven't, but seriously, Ritchie, you and I need to do. I want to do this superstition thing. This is.
Don't. I've got books on them. I've got books on them.
Gosh.
Okay.
Yeah. Your channel or mine? You decide. And would people?
Oh well, it depends. We might have to do several ones because there's so many I've got.
And it has to be. It has to be after the live with Patrice. So.
Yeah.
So, and you know, I just love I love the support going on here. So
yeah.
Okay.
But no, I'm not. I don't mind the Two of Swords. I've never really thought about it now. Perhaps I might need to. Oh, now you've started something. Now I'm like.
Well done. 2 points. Or she has said it's so easy to use ritual as an excuse to not actually do something. I mean, procrastinating with a ritual before actually doing anything, or is it just me?
Hmm.
I
I'm go on. Go on. Then you jump in then on that one.
I never procrastinate. All the time, I procrastinate. And actually, what I found is that I find ritual helps me not to procrastinate.
Hmm.
It's like I mean, and by ritual, it's the series of things that I do in order to get something
Yeah.
accomplished, that productive habit. Because if I set up my dishes in a certain way, then I know the next thing I'm doing is I'm washing them. But
Right. You see, I think a ritual actually helps you get on with it. I kind of feel like once I've started it, I know what I'm doing. Bosh, bosh, bosh. Get it done. Read the cards. Do what you need to do. Ritual to put them away again and finish it all up again as well. So actually, it helps me stop procrastinating. It makes me get on and do it.
yeah, my high priestess has said when you don't want to come to ritual is when you most need to come to ritual.
Oh,
So because it really helps to shift and to change things. So um Nancy asked Scott if blowing bags is that a euphemism. um Jen, it is currently 2:36 p.m. on Monday, July 5th. And Tiny Trinkets and Tarot is Ange. So, or she doesn't have bags.
I don't have that many bags.
I always need one more than I have, to be honest with you.
Mm.
So, Patrice shuffles the deck and thank them when I'm putting them away after reading. Yeah.
I think that's the important thing, isn't it? Is that whatever we do, it's that the deck shuffling. That's the crux of it, isn't it?
Tarot Love Community, I do not remember your name. I'm glad
No,
you're
but
here.
hello.
If you could say your name, I would appreciate it and welcome. Perhaps the necessity for a specific ritual, a known documented versus a personal ritual depends on what you wish to achieve. An invitation ritual needs certain things. Yeah, I think you are right. I mean, it's these are personal and then they're group things.
Yeah.
I know when my family gets together for when we celebrate Thanksgiving and Christmas, the ritual is that we all gather and there's the call for anybody who has announcements before we say grace. So um, so not as open to spontaneous personal ritual.
Mm.
Maybe. I mean, I think spontaneity happens when we're able to be in that space fully and completely, and when things don't go quite right. So,
Yeah.
oh, Chris is like, beg your pardon. So, I'm just checking to see if you're here, Chris. That's all. You are an angel, Chris. You
Yes,
are. You
you
are an
are.
angel.
You
So,
are.
okay. So, Jen fought against all her family superstitions growing up. So,
Oh.
yeah. And isn't that interesting? And part of that is when we understand why we are doing ritual and what it means, or why we're doing the same thing over again, it really helps deepen our understanding.
Yeah.
And this may be too much sharing, but when I am trying to explain, I have been blessed to be able to do ritual for people who are not in my coven. And part of it is sharing why we do certain things. And
Mm-hmm.
it's very interesting because my understanding of it deepens because I'm trying to share it with somebody in a way that is meaningful for them.
Yeah.
So
That's actually quite interesting, because if you had to, if I had to explain my ritual of setting up before a reading to someone, I couldn't actually probably tell them why I do it.
Okay.
I don't know. Or why. I mean, yeah, I've heard about cutting with the left hand and that, I know that. But some of the other things with it makes, it's just my personal foibles, there's a good word, that I'm building into it all. So it's just what works for me. And actually, I probably wouldn't explain it to someone, because it's a bit like, oh, you have to do this, or this is what, somebody new into tarot. I don't want to necessarily put my ideas across when they need to find perhaps their own intentions and ways of doing it themselves.
That's an important point, especially when someone is new, and you have to remember that this person is new and this is exciting for them.
Mm.
And how to not overwhelm them, because I don't want to be the person who was blabbering so much because of my excitement with tarot and doing a tarot reading that I've scared them.
Well, it's like the whole thing about, your first deck. You should never buy your own first deck. You should either have it gifted or passed down or stolen or something. You should never, and I mean, I don't know, how many people still buy into that one, or still, but that's just a really interesting where that's come from, and whether people do still think about that.
I think, that idea of you have your first tarot deck has to be gifted to you. I think Ethany did a video about something like that. And that was very interesting. It's, because let's be honest, how many of us would have ever gotten a tarot deck if it had to be given to us?
Oh yeah.
So
I'll still be waiting.
yeah. Or she said she's the opposite. Or they're the opposite. If I spend time with rituals, sometimes that's all I have the energy for, and never get the actual thing done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me too, Sandra. Me too.
Let me think about that.
Procrastination is where the magic happens for me. The subconscious shifts through its muck, and then the diamond action happens. That's interesting. Scott has his master's in procrastination. I agree, Kim, that it prepping me emotionally and physically in order to get to do something really helps. So
yeah.
Okay, chat just jumped. I'm trying to this is really helpful. I like this. Chris can't tell why he does most things, why the volume needs to be on a multiple of 5. Who knows? Other than because I'm not a heathen. So I do it because Rachel told me to.
It's a good enough reason.
Oh, look, Jackie.
Hi, Jackie.
Jackie,
we were talking about you earlier.
Yes, we were talking about you, and everybody wants you, Patrice, and Neem to come and do a live with me. So please be in touch. I'll show you mine. You show me yours. It'll be very casual. It'll be a casual. So, but
love you, Jackie.
Yes. Ange says, well, just scrolling up to read comments, it appears many of us share the superpower of procrastination here. Glad I'm not alone. Justin says, if I don't cut the cards like that, I might turn into a pumpkin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. If you don't cut the cards properly, then, it's tower cards all the way, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, and it's the same ideas as what were we saying? There was this, if you're not wearing a unitard when you're doing a tarot card reading, you're not really doing a tarot card reading.
Exactly. Exactly.
Really.
We know that. We know this to be true. I've always got my unitard on just in case.
So.
Not tonight's in the wash, though.
Sorry. So.
Oh, well,
the cops as they drag you out in cuffs.
Yeah. I had to steal it. I'm going to be a tarot reader, and I haven't got any friends, and no one gifted it to me, so I had to steal it.
Is a ritual with intention, or just a quirky habit or routine?
That's a good question, isn't it?
That is a beautiful question, Robin, and I'm glad you're here. I'm going to be a smart aleck and answer it yes. It can be both. So
is a ritual with intention, or just a quirky habit or routine? Yeah, I think it is. Yes. Well, the thing is, you could put so many different thoughts to it, and you could ask that question tomorrow, and I might have changed my mind. It's a tough one to answer straight off.
Yeah. And here you go. I mean, you know, Jackie is, you know, now catching up with the fact that we all love her so much. We want to share her love. And then Robin showed up, and everybody's like, hey, Robin, Robin. So Patrice said her first 2 decks were gifted from my wife. I told her she had to buy them for me. Thank goodness I get to buy my own decks now.
Yeah.
So.
And also, Kickstarter would never, you know, no one would ever create anything on Kickstarter if you had to wait for somebody to gift it to you, wouldn't you?
Yeah. So, or she said they hardly ever cut the deck. You know, no worries.
Oh.
So, Gypsy Heart Tarot asked about a mankini. I'm drinking, so you can take that one, Ritchie.
Well, what about it? That's the question. What about? Oh, what? Can you wear a mankini and be a tarot reader? It'd have to be a small deck, I think. Does that answer the question?
And I think you would need to sit on a towel. So
I don't think I'd be happy doing that, to be brutally honest.
Yeah. Zane
in some circles.
Yeah, I think Zane should model a mankini for us. So. Robin, seriously, I want you to make me an elf hat. I'll be in touch. So, or she. Okay, so let's seriously talk about okay, and when you get a new deck, Ritchie, do you have any rituals when you add a new deck to your collection?
Yeah. So right, first there's two things I'm going to talk about. Firstly, if it's a brand new, sealed, never been touched deck, or if it's a second-hand deck, because 2 different rituals to do for those ones. So if it's a brand new deck, I will collect it through the post or whenever it is and leave it. I don't even open it until the time is right for that to happen. And that's just one of my quirks. I feel like the energies have to be right to be able to do it. So, for example, I bought the Dark Mansion off someone, and it was a Christmas present to me, and I paid quite a lot of money on eBay because it was sealed and everything like that. And I thought, right, I'm going to open that Christmas Day. And Christmas Day, the vibes were not working. And even right the way through to New Year, I wasn't feeling it. So it sat on my sacred space, staring at me in its plastic wrapper. And it wasn't until January I actually got round to opening it and doing that. So that's one quirk for me. Once I've got it, then it's a case of looking through the deck and just shuffling the life out of the thing. So shuffle. I like to make sure, whether it's a new deck or a deck that I'm doing a reading, that I've touched all the cards, and particularly after reading, I will make sure that I've shuffled it really, really well, hand over hand, so that my energies from my hands have gone on to all the all the cards there. So that's what I do for a new one, plus the other
Okay.
bit. For a
Hold
go
on just a second. Hold on. Neem is here. Everybody join me. Neem. Hello, Neem. So. Okay, and Robin has a big hello to everybody. So, but okay, so that was a new deck in plastic.
Yeah.
And I would say from, I'm going to talk about a new deck in plastic. I open it, I look through the cards, I count them. That's part of my ritual. I go through because two things, well, more than two things. I want to see how the deck was delivered to me because sometimes they're grouped differently than I would. Sometimes they start with the magician instead of the fool. And sometimes the numbers are grouped together. So I like to see how it was delivered for me to help.
Brush your suits as well. What order the suits come in? Yes.
And so Sandra always counts the cards. And now, because when if it's a new deck to me, I typically won't shuffle it until I've done my flip through.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm a bit like that, actually. I've just had a deck that I haven't touched because I didn't want to mess the order up, and now I've done the video to it. It's now on YouTube. I've now been shuffling it merrily all day today. But yeah, that's a new quirk that's come in.
Yeah. So okay, so a new to you deck. Do you do anything?
Sorry, a second-hand deck. I will put them in order first, and it depends on what the cards feel like when you're going through them all. Sometimes they're they feel like they've been used quite a bit. I once had a deck that I bought that had kind of cat hair on it, on the cards, so I had to go through and wipe them. I often will run them through some incense, not necessarily individually, but I might just waft because I just believe in cleansing them, not because I believe that anyone's done anything really bad with them, but I just think they need to be wiped clean. So I'll put them in order, I'll shove a nice quartz on the top of it and leave them for a little while, and then occasionally, if it happens to be a full moon or whatever, I might stick them in front of the full moon, but that isn't a really important part of it. But it's about leaving it with a quartz crystal just to soak up the any energies that might be in, and then again shuffle them. But again, it's to do with time, and I might leave them for a week before I start shuffling.
Well, and sometimes for me, I get a deck that I felt really drawn to the images, but then when I get it, it's sort of like, I'm gonna set you over here for a little bit and then we can acclimate. So
I sometimes put a new deck, regardless of whether it's a brand new deck or something, on top of a trustworthy one. So my Radiant Lights, I put it on top of that and then put crystal on it.
That's interesting.
And when sorry, go on. And actually, when I started tarot, one of the things I was told is that you should get a trustworthy deck from somebody if you haven't got one yourself, and sandwich the cards in between, so your two fools go together, then your two magicians, and you have a stack like that. I have never done that, but that's what I
Sandra also does not shuffle decks before walkthroughs, I think, or she does. Kristen Louise says, I find walkthroughs with cards out of order annoying, and that's where I exercise my right to stop watching. Justin Michael sleeps with his decks, and I have done that, actually.
Yeah, Govinda yesterday said that he sleeps with the deck. I've never done that, but then I'm a bit of a kind of rough sleeper. I'd end up with all the cards on the floor, or missing some. They'd all get out of order.
Yeah, and Robin just bought his first Palo Santo incense today, but haven't cracked the box. I'm still a virgin. Do we need to film Robin?
Yeah.
You burning your Palo Santo. So, Or she said that she's never heard of half of these superstitions before she started, and then she says she's glad about that.
You wait, you're going to start them.
Yeah. Well, and then there's going to be a new series, superstitions with Ritchie and Gerald. So,
yeah, the 17-hour epic.
Yeah, see how many people we can get to be superstitious.
Oh, don't, because you'll all end up being like, oh, well, hopefully you won't, but
so
yeah.
Kristen Louise says she sleeps with hers too. Well, on my bedside stand. I've done it on my bedside stand. I've actually put them into the pillowcases and under the bed.
Oh.
So Jen says, used decks I've received from friends in the community I haven't cleansed, as I feel their beautiful energy in it. Yeah. So
I think if you know that where it's coming from and it's a trusting source and stuff, then yeah.
Or she does not want us to do a superstitions one. So and Jonathan is here. Hello, Jonathan.
Hi, Jonathan.
So
fashionably late.
Moon water, Justin. I'm a big fan of moon water, and that's for a long time what I did is I have moon water that I put out on every full moon and every new moon for 13 months. And it's really quite powerful.
I've got Chalice well water, and I've got a little few drops of Florida water in it as well, and I've got it in a spritzer, and I'm always just spritzing everything there. Spritz the cat if it sits around long enough, I spritz the bed as well, so when I change the bed I always spritz the Chalice water to the mattress.
That's nice. And is this the belief that if you have some Chalice water and you add drops to other water, it turns that new water into Chalice water?
I've never really come across that before. I have got a series of bottles from different wells and bits and pieces around, but I know I'm not into a massive, cocktail of different sacred waters. It's what works for me, and I just like it. But I would be happy to swap to another sacred. But I have got several liters of Glastonbury water here, so got a lot to get through.
Yeah. Sandra has Chalice well water too. And Jen fucking loves neem. So Robin didn't like sage at first, but he loves it, and I think it's a lot of people have their preferred scents to be able to work with. So Justin doesn't like Florida water, he said. So and Jonathan, he has water he charges during the lunar eclipse. That's very powerful. And I had some stuff that I have done during the blue moon. So, and Justin, I do the same thing. I set my water out for 3 days, the day before, the full moon, and the day after. So,
oh, you're very good. I would never remember that. And normally it's like, oh, heck, it's a full moon and quick. And it's like, go and find. I'm not that organized, I'm afraid.
That's something that you actually put into your phone, and to do that. So,
my tarot phone.
Your tarot phone, So, and Jonathan said when the Hawaiians use water for blessing, they gather river water, rainwater, and ocean water. It's amazing energy.
Oh, that's nice.
So,
interesting. I saw a video the other day. Somebody was charging their crystals, but I think as well they had some tarot cards during a thunderstorm. So they had them all set out on a porch with the lightning. Oh, that's really interesting.
That is really interesting. I think that's interesting. Do you put, when you do a reading and thinking about rituals, do you spread a cloth? Do you burn incense? Just what do you do to the space, the environment?
Okay, so I'm not hung up about cloth. I've got lots of cloths and I like cloths, but I'm always then I get a bit they have to be perfectly straight and not ridged at all. So I'm more than happy to sort of read on a sitting on a blanket on a bed or something like that. I do like to light incense, but I have recently got heavily into burning lots of incense and trying to find new scents that I like. So I bought a lot of those ones. I light a candle. That will be one. I will normally, if it's going to be a reading that's going to take a little longer than just 10 minutes, I will light some incense. I will probably do a visualization. I will give my intention. I will say my protection for it. And then do whilst I'm doing the shuffling, and then go for it that way. Yeah. And I do 2 cards a day, which I post on Instagram, and so I don't do the incense all for that one necessarily, but I still do the intention and the blessing.
Yeah. Apparently, Justin is suing me for libel.
Okay. What did you say?
Figure out what I did. Oops. So, I like a cloth because it just sort of it. And I use different cloths. I actually, for when I first started getting into tarot, I created some cloths for them, and because we went to the store, we bought nice fabric, 2 different kinds, and then I put nice trim in them, so and usually one was a darker color and one was a lighter color, so it really helps with the type of reading. So
yeah, that's the only reason I will put a cloth down. Well, there's 2 reasons. Firstly, if where I'm doing my reading looks a bit grubby, or if I'm outside doing it and I don't want connection straight onto the earth or whatever, I'll do that. But also just to make the colors pop a little bit. That's the only reason. I don't, religiously do it, if you pardon the.
Please let me give a public apology for misquoting Justin Michael.
Oh,
that my apologies. I don't want to be like the Washington Post.
I've missed all this. It's very exciting.
Yeah,
I'm not going to be called in as a witness or anything, am I?
Yeah, I think for reading in public, a cloth comes in handy, but at home, it's just a nice backdrop for photos.
I agree.
I agree. And I do like, for a while, there was a joke amongst my friends when we first started reading tarot, is that we couldn't start reading tarot until after 11 p.m. And it wasn't done intentionally. It was weird. It was just when we were together.
Okay.
When we were together, we were, it was a Friday night or something, and we'd be enjoying our company, and then somebody would look at the clock. Oh, it's after 11, and then it's like, oh, we should read tarot.
Okay, so it had no other purpose than just a group fun thing.
Yeah, it was a group fun thing. Now that I'll read tarot, I'll whip it out at any time, Ritchie.
Yeah, you don't have to be in a group to do that for group fun either.
No. So,
okay, so yeah, but that's the kind of thing which, as I said, things like that can kind of stick if you're not careful with it. But yeah,
I think it's important to realize that that goes back to that idea of why when we first started. I think it was part of it is because we were building up energy as friends, and then it was like, okay, let's read. And so it was just a beginner's thing, and we got everybody in sync. It's like when you and I, before we do a live, here's a look behind the curtain.
You're not going to give away our secrets, are you?
I'm only going to give away one.
Okay.
One of the things that we do is we come on about a half an hour early to chat and just get caught up on what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
And I used to do this because I used to train a lot. And it was important to spend time syncing together and just making sure that
Yeah.
we're all on the same page.
And reading one another, sort of like, you know, today as I said to you, I'm a bit tired, not necessarily flat, but just a bit tired today. And so, you know, and you can gauge that with how the conversations or the questions are going to be asked, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's my other ritual I do just before I live, and you can say what that is.
Well, you dance around or you go for a wee.
I always dance to the countdown music.
Oh, do you? Well, I'm not watching that because I'm
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, you never watching it? I'm always having a bit of a bop to the music. It gives us that energy to get onto it.
Yeah. Well, and apparently Jen said, or if you're me, you come on 5 minutes early because you're an unorganized fucker. I would not cast a spell on Justin Michael at all. So,
No.
and squirrels are only demonic. You know, it's like, anyhow. So, but I have recently started to, is it riffle shuffle?
Yes, I've started riffle shuffling too.
Okay.
How are you getting on with it? Has it been, well, firstly, why are we riffle shuffling? That's the question. That's really weird that we're both trying that at the same time. Why do you want to riffle shuffle?
I think it goes to the idea of is I want to mix the cards up well.
Yeah.
And and they're my decks, so I just I'm going to do with them whatever I want. And
would you riffle shuffle all your decks, or are some just far too precious to consider bending the backs on them?
It's Justin Michael saying I started riffle shuffling too. Chris Kelly is to blame. So
it's not just riffle shuffling he's got to be blamed for. There's many other things.
Well, yeah, it's probably low on the scale of everything to blame him with, but so. Oh, I wanted to tag Ritchie, but he's not in the chat anymore. Are you not in the chat?
Oh, I am. I'm here.
So, anyhow.
I am here.
I think part of it is I'm riffle shuffling because I wasn't taught to riffle shuffle when I took my first tarot classes. You didn't riffle shuffle. You did the overhand.
Yeah.
And so I just started. I did this. I would do this 3 times.
Oh, you have to count them, do you?
So that was the 3rd time, and then I do this. So that's 1. That's 2. That's 3. And then I put them, and then I do them. Then I cut them into 3 piles, and then put them back.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, but now what I've added to it is I've added it. I've added the riffle shuffle to it. Just so, I do that 3 times. I riffle shuffle.
Okay. So when you're learning your riffle, you know, like when you do that and they're all like into the, I can do that bit, but what I can't do is the next bit when they all go back into a pack.
Bridge them.
Yeah, I'm having trouble with that.
You mean that?
I hate you.
So, or she's like, so random, but I really like how Chris Kelly sounds as a name. So there you go. So, and Jonathan, Sandra can't riffle shuffle. I don't want to put to get my cards all bent.
This is a really good deck to riffle shuffle with, though. I noticed we're both using it, aren't we? It's very pliable, isn't it? Very pliable.
It is the Broken Mirror Tarot, and
this is our deck of the month, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a very nice linen finish. So, Jonathan's been riffle shuffling for decades, and Jen started after Jonathan's video, or she does 3x3, and Neem alternates riffle, overhand, riffle, riffle, overhand, overhand, and riffle. Generally always end on a riffle and then cut.
I'll have to watch Jonathan's video. I didn't realise there was one. He just said he's got his video there.
So, and I actually have, I like that, Justin. I'll have to go look at Benabel.
I have to go and watch it because the bit I have trouble with is not really the riffle. It's the working out when you split the deck, which way round you're going to go so that they're all still the same way up. Does that make sense? That hurts my head, that bit. And I know it's just that, but I have to think about that bit.
Right. Well, you can always do this. You can always go like this and then look at it and then look at it and then.
Oh, I do. Believe me, my friend, I do.
Okay. So.
I'm going to practice now. Here we go. Let's see if I can do this.
And Jonathan, if you actually have a, I think Jonathan is a mod. So.
Yeah, add it in, Jonathan. Yeah. Oh, someone talked about jumpers. Oh, she's on jumpers now. Jumpers.
And sorry. Regina can't bridge.
Oh, should we start our own club, Regina? The I Can't Bridge Club.
So,
We
Jonathan, feel free to look at your channel, that video. Or she has tiny weak hands.
Oh.
Jackie,
you can be in the club as well. So it's Jackie, Regina, and me.
Yeah. Jen says it depends upon how used and flexible it is. Some just won't bridge. Yeah. Who else is using jumpers? Are you using jumpers?
Never do jumpers. No. The thing is, when I started off, I was such a bad shuffler. Is that the floor would just be covered with jumpers, and I just thought, no, that's just me being cack-handed. I don't think it's the universe trying to tell me anything apart from I can't shuffle. So I decided that I was never going to look at jumpers. However, I do watch a lot of videos with people that do take jumpers to be the cards, and I think that's really interesting. But I would never. I don't need anything else to fuel my OCD, to be brutally honest, with starting to include jumpers into it.
I will pay attention to jumpers depending upon if it's a few cards. If it's the same number of cards that I was actually going to do the reading, I would use those cards for the reading. So, Justin, I'm going to have to watch Benabel's channel for that. Oh, look, Jonathan put lesson.
Regina, Jackie, no bridges allowed. So, we won't cross that bridge, will we?
Yeah, no. So, and yes, we are using the same deck.
Yeah.
So, Robin takes a gently loving approach to my cards, letting them drift from one hand to the other. I couldn't riffle if I wanted to, but it would feel like forcing them all through the subway turnstile.
Yeah, I agree. I only would riffle decks that I feel confident that they would riffle nicely. And yeah, and some decks I'm just too precious about. So
yeah.
No.
Yeah. Okay, so Justin linked the Benabel, I think. So
Jonathan says he loves a good bridge. You can't be in our club then, Jonathan, I'm afraid.
It's all right, Jonathan. I'm not in the club either. So
it's a specialist club.
Yeah. Neem says if your shuffling generally results in dropsies, I say that's not really a jumper. But if you're shuffling and a card pops out, it's telling you something, in my opinion. And I like the the swish sound of bridge.
See, why would you say that? Why would you say that? That's just upsetting for us people that can't do that. Because I really want to make the swish sound, but
do you need me to record you and send to you the the riffling sound, the swish sound? So now I can't bridge because I'm smart.
Us non-bridgers, we look at that sound, we hear that sound, and it's like it's like nails down a blackboard to us. Yeah.
There you go. All right. So look, Jonathan's saying watch his video.
I will. Yeah.
Okay, so
you do realize though when I try and do that, sometimes it's like I've got a third hand that won't work properly. It's kind of like this. Yeah. It's the same that I tried to learn poi. You know what poi is, with your ropes and your balls and your fire, and I just ended up wrapping it around my head, setting fire to my beard. So that was just a rubbish thing though.
Wait a minute, ropes, balls, and fire? What?
Yeah, do you know what poi is? You have like things on string, and you kind of you do that, and you can like twist them all around one another, and and then you can set them on fire. You see, poi is amazing, but no, wow. It ended up just nearly strangling myself with it. So see, Jonathan does poi. He's a bridger. He can probably poi as well. I thought that at the time.
Robin suggests just vocalizing the swish sound. So and
how would that go then?
And so no, I'm laughing because Jeffrey is on the other side of the camera and he's sitting back there. He's going. This is why I love this man. Okay, it's just like so. And apparently my face was quite good. And Jonathan loves doing poi. Regina says no beard fires allowed.
No.
Jonathan's also a flagger. I would never call you a flagger, Jonathan.
What's a flagger? Apart from someone that's not very fast, there's always behind.
So I don't know. So I wonder if it's the twirlers, the people who twirl.
Like a majorette thing.
Spinning. So, but
spinning.
All right. So because we were talking about ritual in this ritual, the idea of ritual. It sounds like many of us have these things to get us into the space of what we're working on, and Nancy beautifully said. Making sure using the ritual, using the routine or the ritual to celebrate the doctrine.
Yeah.
So, by the way, and it's flagger, not lagger, flag dancing.
Oh, okay.
So, but now Kristen Louise Tarot, I think she is still here, or maybe she has jumped off to go watch. The what's his name's live. Oh, excuse me, sip. Jonathan says it's Six Flags with cords along one edge, and it's similar to poi, but looks amazing.
Oh, you have to make a video of that.
Yes. And Regina is trying to work out how to fit beard fires into the Breaking Up song by the Greg Kihn Band. So, okay, so Kristen Louise is still here. Kristen Louise, actually, when we first started, was talking about effective ritual that's instinctual and audiovisual. And I want to talk about that audiovisual part of it. I think there is power when you actually say something out loud and while you have movement.
Yes.
I think that's extremely important. And it could be simply, it's like when I'm shuffling, that's a movement. And many of us, when we're shuffling, we're talking to the cards and welcoming them and getting them to work together for us. As far as effective ritual, that's something I like to start slowly and build up to it. Maybe an example of a ritual. If I were doing something when I'm reading tarot, I would cut the deck a certain way each time.
Yeah.
And then after I do that for some time, then maybe what I do is then I will add the shuffling to it. I would build upon that. So
Okay. Yeah, I suppose for me, the vocalizing of the call out, the intention, whatever it is that I'm talking about, is the key moment. That's the point when I'm doing it whilst shuffling. I might repeat, I might keep going, but it also times the amount of times I'm shuffling, because I don't do a certain count. It's not like I shuffle 3 times, something like that.
right.
I'll just keep shuffling until I get to the end of it, and it feels right. But yeah, so again, it's building in the fact that these cards are moving whilst I'm talking, and that is almost the climax of getting ready to do the reading.
Right. Jonathan did post a video of his friend Roy flagging, so you can watch that. Kristen Louise said, "I need music, I realized recently."
Oh.
I love that. When I am doing a journey, I have a particular song that I use, and from that first beat of that drum, I am already in that space.
That's good.
And I used to take, many years ago, probably 25 years ago, I took Tai Chi classes for a year.
Oh.
And the warm-up song we used was the same. And I actually got a disc of it. And when I hear that music, my body automatically gets into the position to do Tai Chi. My pelvis actually moves. So I think yeah, and Kristen Louise just said Warduna just makes it click for me.
Yeah, and me too. I like that. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think music is a beautiful way. Music and singing, it's all things to really help with that.
Can I ask a question?
I don't know. Can you?
Yeah, I'm going to pose this. Pose the thing with this. Pose this.
Pose a question.
Pose this. Yeah. What about the ritual of closing a reading? Because we talked about the build up to it all. For me, making sure that it isn't just a frantic scramble to pick the cards up and get them into some semblance of order. That in many ways is equally, if not more important than the actual starting ritual.
Yeah. Are you asking me how I?
Yeah. What do you do? What do you do?
What do I do? What I do is I connect with the person for which I'm reading, especially it's in person. And I'm like going, did you have any other questions about the cards as they're laid out?
Yeah.
And if they don't, and I usually I thank the person for letting me do the reading, giving me the honor and the privilege of reading for them. And at the same time, I'm picking up the cards and then I'm shuffling it, sort of incorporating the connection that I've had with the cards back into the deck so that it helps to build. Because if I've done a lot of readings in a short period of time, I think that the cards, I connect really well with the cards toward the end.
Yeah.
So
Do you have a set amount of times you shuffle?
No, I just sort of, Jen says blowing out the candles is the most important ending of a reading for me, swishing the smoke over the space. Yeah.
Oh, because to me, I can't ever blow candles out like that. I have to extinguish, or I've got a snuffer.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Robin said, pose it with poise.
Why not?
But I think, or she does for packing away the deck. Okay, what was your question for me? Do I have,
What's your kind of closing down, finishing up ritual?
Yeah.
Oh, how many times would you shuffle the deck? I asked.
I would shuffle them depending upon how the reading went. Sometimes there's tough readings. I will shuffle the deck more just to sort of try to dissipate that. And if I'm doing another reading for that same person, I might not mix it as much as I would if I were reading for somebody else.
Yeah.
So, how do you do it?
I collect up the cards that have been laid down and I shuffle those to start off with.
Okay.
And then I will shuffle them into the deck and I just keep shuffling until, like I said, I think I've touched every card.
You touch every card when you're done?
Yeah, I will shuffle them until I feel like I have connected with each card. Yeah.
Jonathan says, for packing away the deck, I'm in the habit of cutting up the deck to cover each of the cards in the spread, then pick up the piles randomly in 3 riffle shuffles. So
3 keeps appearing, doesn't it? 3 is often is a number that you can use a lot in tarot.
Yep. Robin says a fun way to end a reading might be 78 card pickup, then resetting them. Yes. Actually, I have done that when I've been finished for the evening. If I've done a lot of readings for people, I will actually reset the deck.
Yeah.
And then put them away. So I've done that. So you're welcome, Horsey. So, and Kristen Louise wants to be around when Robin does 78 card pickup. So.
Oh, can't think of anything worse. No. Oh no.
Well, I can think of something worse than doing 78 card pickup. It's trying to do 78 card pickup and only finding 77 cards. You know. Jonathan says Chinese medicine is based on 3 and multiples of 3.
Yeah.
So much of what I do in ritual is the 3 because if I'm chanting something, I will chant it 3 times.
Yeah.
So, but
I often work with odd numbers, so it might be. Having said that, my card of the day is always 2. I always pull 2 cards when I'm doing that one. But every other reading, I will probably pick an odd number of cards to work with.
Yeah. Why do you do that?
Why odd numbers?
Yeah, why odd numbers?
I don't like necessarily cards one next to the other in lines. I don't like straight lines, to be brutally honest with you. So with odd numbers, you can do more interesting diagonal and triangles and all sorts of things like that. Yeah.
Kristen Louise said Celtic cosmology is based on 3: land, sea, and sky.
Yeah.
So this has been delightful.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for sticking with us as we had a chat. We had a ritual about ritual. It's the slow mode.
All right. Yeah.
That's going to be a new thing, you know. So, Ritchie, what do you have coming up on your channel?
I don't think I've got. I've got some videos that I've. Oh, Gerald, I've finally got around to making some videos of walkthroughs of decks, and it's been such a long time since I've done them. And I wish I could say they were a joy to do, but they're not, compared to doing lives. And there's bits from my channel that I started a year ago that I want to finish off doing videos for, and I just. It's a bit of a labor of love at the moment, but I need to get back into doing that because there's like learning the tarot. I'm only I think I've only got as far as the Hermit or something like that, and I want to at least get the majors. So I want to concentrate. So I'm going back to having a live. I've got a live next week on Friday in my usual slot. I'm trying to find some interesting people to have on. Not that people aren't, other people are not interesting, but I'm trying to just find a few people to come on. But I'm just doing a normal talk to the camera because I haven't done one of those for a long time. Sort of catch up malarkey a week on Friday, unless anyone wants me to come on the channel before that.
Yeah, Jamie showed up.
Oh, hi Jamie. Wandering mountain bardic path.
You've got a theme song, Jamie. How did that happen? I mean,
I've always done that. Moment the name of the channel got renamed. I've always done that.
I want to hear a remix of that, Ritchie. So
I'll have to think about that.
Jen says she's an odd number person with most things in life, except kids. I always wanted to have an even number. So
actually, that upsets me in the classroom when I've got an odd number of students in the class. That does upset me. I often move one out. Could you leave, please? We've got 31 students, and I can only go with 30. One of you has to go. Who's out?
Yeah. Or she says, I'd like to ask you, Ritchie, out for a live.
Oh, yes. Let's do it. No, I'm going to have plenty of time on my hands. I've got 2 mad weeks of work coming up, and I mean mad because, like I said before, I've got new timetables, 250 children to have to suddenly deal with, and then I'm off for 6 weeks in the summer. So I've got quite a lot of time on my hand as after that. So I would love to come on people's channels if you can put up with me.
Take your medication first. Have a beverage before you have him on your channel.
Make sure you go to the loo.
Yeah. Jen said it, so it's just fuck one off because you're unsettled, right? You know, just go.
Yeah.
You're out.
Yeah, so, well then the problem happens is that you get rid of one, and then one goes, I got to leave because I've got to go and have got to go to the dentist or something like that, and now you're back to another odd number again. So it's like children can just be horrible sometimes.
I was never horrible. I was pure and innocent.
I'm just talking about numbers. I'm just talking about numbers. That's all. They mess up my plans.
Robin, Ritchie, take us on a tarot walk around your neighborhood.
Oh, what do you mean by that? You mean take the tarot cards out for a walk, or walk around the neighborhood, or what do you mean by that? That sounds interesting.
Well, you did take us to your seaside.
Yeah, I need to take us to the sacred well that has been dug up around here, what's the word? Rediscovered. Yeah. So I want to do one there. And I was really planning to get up to the Long Man of Wilmington, and I was planning to get to some of the other sacred. But believe me, the weather has just been utter shite to go out in, and I haven't really seen the sun since the beginning of June here. And I'm always banging on about how hot it is and how it's a lovely seaside, and it is, but I don't want to take my cards out and show you miserable grey hillsides. I'd rather wait for it to be nice and sunny. So
isn't that England though? Miserable grey.
Oh, good. Well, yeah, but normally we have a break. I have not seen the sun. No, I have seen the sun a few times, but it's always been through my classroom window because it always happens on weekdays, and the weekend it's like No. And I'm trying to get up to London again, so I want to do another walk around and video up there. I've got irons in fires, but yeah.
Or she is going to contact you, message you on Facebook.
Brilliant. And we've got a Zoom, haven't we, coming up as well tomorrow?
Yes,
for our Pride
for
Revisited.
Tried Spread Revisited. We have a Zoom tomorrow at noon Eastern Standard, which is 5 British Standard for this month's spread. That may be too much information, Jen. So Robin says do a walkthrough out of doors. Do a walkthrough. Oh yeah, take a deck out. Because Robin's done that, and I know Justin Michael did that.
Okay, you mean actually go outside?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I will do. Yeah, I haven't bought that many decks recently that I've want to do a walkthrough, but I might find an old one out. And yeah, I promise you I will. I promise you I will. As soon as the weather gets better and I've actually got some time to deal with it, but I'll take that on board.
Yeah. So... apparently it's now stuck in Neem and Jonathan's head, forever. You have to sing it because I'm not going to sing. So
what? Wandering mountain bardic path. Do. I don't know what the next bit is. Just repeat the same thing.
E-I-E-I-O.
E-I-E-I-O. That's old MacDonald, isn't it? Ain't no mountain high. Anyway, I will record it one day. You can have it in our band.
Yeah, Regina, can do that. So I am actually doing. I'm doing 2 lives tomorrow.
2? You don't wear yourself out, please.
Well, because Chris Yao from Barely Balanced Tarot and I are doing a magic tool talk. This is our introduction to this topic. We're going to talk a bit about magic tools, and that is at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard. So that would be 9 p.m.
9.
So you may be in bed.
It depends if there's any football on the telly tomorrow or not.
Yeah, pick football.
I don't think there is. I don't think there is.
Jamie's very excited for you to do that. Jen is going to be with Jen and Jamie to do a catch up on Jen's channel if she can work out our time zones to schedule a second. Robin.
Here's a question I want to know. What's the difference in time between Jonathan and Jen?
What's the difference between Jonathan and
Jen?
In
time. Not what's the difference between Jonathan and Jen in time zones? Because he's way over that way and she's well over that way. And it must be getting on for nearly 24 hours, surely, mustn't it?
Well,
or do they just meet up in the middle somewhere in kind of some mushiness that is Tuesday afternoon?
Well, Jonathan is 3 hours earlier than Jamie. So, or she said math problems. No thanks. Jonathan is now, it's Monday, 9:38 a.m. and Jen is 5:38 a.m. tomorrow. So I don't know. Yeah,
it hurts, doesn't it? It hurts.
Actually, Jen and Jonathan is 4 hours earlier the next day. They're closer in time, but farther away, if anybody understands that gibber.
No, I can't do that. But it's an interesting question, and one that I often just think about late at night,
I love that. 4 hours earlier the next day.
That hurts.
Yeah, and right now it's 9:39 a.m. Monday, and Jen is in the future. She's Tuesday for us.
You see what Robin said? Jen is Jonathan's yesterday, which is tomorrow. Yeah.
Wow. Goodness. Well, everyone, thank you very much for joining us for our chat about ritual. And this has been Longman Tarot. Like and subscribe to his channel. I am blah blah blah, the Hermit Mage and Tarot Stash. So Ange is like, okay, so Patrice is like, I'm so bad at math, this is twisting my brain. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, this is a problem I should be working with the kids on at school tomorrow, but I'm like, no, that hurts too much. You should, and do it with this background, the background of the swish of the riffle shuffle, it's there. So I'm not a bridger. Okay. And Ange is like she loves that the community is in the future. So and it's way too early for kids. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Or she thank you, and or I did post the link to the Tried Spread Revisited chat. Bye, Zane. Well, she's got her new spread coming out, which is quite exciting. Yes. And if there's a contest, he's Sachet and Gerald too. So, and I think, and Jen is right. Yes, make the students work it out, Ritchie. No, because they wouldn't. And then they'd go, is this right? And I'd go, I haven't a clue. New series, Brain Twisters with Jonathan and Jen. And Jen said, especially if you have an odd number and feeling pissed off. Which I will do. Or she's done with the spread, and we'll reveal it tomorrow after our chat. Fabulous. So, everyone, thank you very much. And think about your ritual. And if you want to do a VR to this, where you talk about your rituals, feel free to do that. Would love to see that. I don't know what hashtag to use, but great questions, and thank you. Ritual. Whatever. Oh my God! It's here. This one. This one. There you go. Oh, on that way. So, there you go. And bye, Jackie. We should probably get ready for our live. So anyhow, bye everybody. Bye everyone. Take care.